good morning. Welcome to the KetoMom page. My name is Stephanie. This is my husband, Steve.
I'm Steve.
And we
So
are
great to
going
meet you.
to have you meet one of our friends, Mr. Mo. The Big Mo. Is that what we called him?
Whoa, the Big Mo. You get to meet him today.
You get
her,
to meet
meet it,
Big Mo.
meet the thing, meet all the things.
All right.
Big Mo.
As you're tuning in, I would love to know, what is one thing you're thankful for? It's Thursday. I always just think Thankful Thursday. I'd love for you to share below one thing you're thankful for, not just like I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for my family.
Sometimes I
But
feel like I'm a stress.
But well, sometimes.
But I'm glad you feel that way.
But what is one thing you're thankful for? We would love for you to share below. What are you thankful for?
This morning I'm thankful for nasal spray. That's what I'm
We're
thankful for.
battling some ailments in our home. It's a big word.
I mean, you must have watched Downtown Abbey last night. So proper in how she presents all
We
of her
are
things.
battling some head stuff going on. Our children and us, there is snot flying, and we are throwing thieves' oil down our throats and taking all the vitamins.
Yeah, I actually feel fantastic. But I have a feeling, does it come across like I'm a little nasally?
I feel nasally.
The worship pastor didn't want me to sing, unfortunately.
I have to sing on Sunday, so I
Because
need
no,
this.
This doesn't sound right.
We're going to try some allergy pills, although I don't want allergies, but we're going to try all the things.
So most of you who are tuning in right now, you're probably wondering, what is this all about? Usually people come here because they want to know more about how to eat keto, or they are like on a fat loss journey. But
I just
sometimes
started
you get
the
comedy.
keto diet.
Sometimes you get comedy. Most of the time you get a bunch of wisdom from this lady. But
Well,
I like to say that we
facts.
are two parents that have been madly in love for almost our whole life. We have
Yes.
4 daughters. We happen to live up north currently.
Steve wants to live down south someday again.
And I'd say other than that, life is great.
Life is great. So, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for our home. I'm thankful that I can look outside, and even though it's a crazy, windy, probably stormy day, we have a home. All right, here's what we're doing. Every morning, we're going through a book to help you with your mindset. We've been going through the compound effect. Super great. Just to help you understand, like, small steps every single day will compound into really the goals and the dreams and hopefully the things that you're striving after if you stay consistent.
So good.
So,
Just got to give it time.
today we're going to talk about the power of Big Mo. Basically, the author says he gives you a whole bunch of people, like famous people that you would know. You could think of any person that you would consider famous, and he would say, hey, I have a friend, his name is Big Mo. And all of my friends, and he named people like, let's say Kobe Bryant, or he's like, all of these people
He's a great example.
know Mo too. And so I'm going to read something to you. I don't think Steve remembers this from science class, from physics class, but I remember
Newton's
it because
first
I've taught
law.
my daughters this.
Go ahead.
Oftentimes,
Law of
we
Inertia?
homeschool, so sometimes then Law of Inertia.
I'm looking at all the
Oftentimes, I'll be doing school,
underlined
and Steve will be like,
sentences.
"You don't need to know that. I don't remember that."
It's not true. I don't remember saying that.
Really? We're doing like Algebra 1, and he's like, "Nobody needs to know that." Anyways, that's what Google is for. Okay.
Well,
listen to.
I apologize in front of anybody who's watching. I do apologize because if you get to the point to where you just depend on Google, and then one day
It's gone.
one day it's
What if
gone.
it's gone?
Humanity will be at a place to where
They'll have to use a dictionary.
we'll have to go back to the 1958 encyclopedias.
Yeah. Could you handle that?
I can handle it.
Okay, here's what I want you to understand. Newton's first law, also known as the law of inertia. Object at rest, there's a song that I would sing with my girls to learn this. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. Okay, an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. An object in motion tends to stay in motion unless something stops their momentum.
Oh,
Putting it another way,
this is good.
couch potato tends to stay a couch potato.
Are you a couch potato?
Achievers,
No.
people who get up and are successful, they have a successful rhythm in their life. They're doing their daily habits. They're creating good habits. They're making better choices. Continue to bust through. They bust their butts, and at the end are achieving more and more. It's like the merry-go-round. Did any of you ever ride on that merry-go-round? It's like this picture. before they were deemed unsafe.
I think those things are amazing.
This is the funnest thing ever. Did anybody ever ride on one of these?
I remember we had one of these up from when we were growing up as a kid.
Up the street.
And all the kids in the neighborhood.
You guys, we've grown up
just
across the street
jump
from each
right
other
onto this thing.
since we were 8. So we've known each other since we were 8.
We should probably tell our backstory sometime.
Sometime.
Not today. That's for another day. Your sister's
My sister's
calling.
calling. Just ignore her.
Obviously, she's not watching.
She's
you live
clearly not watching us.
on any of the platforms. You're on
Right.
TikTok, Instagram, and on Facebook, and she's obviously not paying attention. That's okay. That's okay.
So,
We still have
merry-go-round.
So right up the street, whole neighborhood kids. How many kids do you think lived in
I
the
mean, we
neighborhood?
lived in a neighborhood that
4,
had
6, 12,
like 40
18.
kids. So every day after school or all summer long, we had friends to play with. We would all come outside and play till our parents made us go inside.
40 kids. I was like up
So
to
many.
22 in my head, and I was like, it just doubled. It's great. So that's how it works.
There was a
there's
lot.
about 40 kids. Now, can
was
you
a lot.
imagine 40 kids all getting on this merry-go-round, and then I'm the one who has to push it, right? Now, can you imagine? This thing's rusty. It has not been greased in probably 20 years.
It's like the oldest school playground you could see.
When it gets
ever.
going, it's like that itchy, creaky sound. So that's, if you can envision that, that's this merry-go-round, and that's momentum. Like the couch potato sitting on the couch, that's the merry-go-round that's completely loaded.
Stopped, though.
But can you imagine how tough it is to get that thing going? I know from firsthand experience that it was really difficult. I had to push, and I had to sweat, and I had to grunt, and I had to dig my heels in the ground, and I had to give it everything I got to move this merry-go-round. But that's just like your habits. That's just like your decisions in life. And there's going to be a point to where you feel that little like it just moves just a tiny little fraction of an inch, and everybody on the merry-go-round, all the couch potatoes, they're like, come on, move me, right? That's what happened. That's like your community. That could be like your work. That could be like some of your friends. They could be like crabs in the bucket trying to pull you down and always
Right.
yelling at you. But the reality is, you know where you're going, and you know you're about to get some momentum going. So you keep pushing and you keep going, and the next thing you know, it goes, and it moves even further. Then what happens, Stephanie?
I love it. It says the first step is always the hardest. Getting it to move from a standstill. You have to push, you've got to pull, you've got to grimace, you've got to groan, you've got to throw your entire body into the effort. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. It seems like you are getting nowhere. After a long, hard effort, finally you are where you're able to get it to be a little speed, right? And you're running alongside
There it is. So now you're moving. Now you're kind of walking, and now you're running. These are what would be some baby habits. This is like you've gotten to the gym. You've got the workout in. You've done it for 3 days in a row. You're eating the right foods.
You're doing things that you know you need to do even when you don't feel like it. I'm not going to lie. I thought to myself, he was laying in bed. I heard him get up earlier this morning and like was using the neti pot and like, ugh. And I thought, you know what? It would be really easy to just take a picture and say, hey, I sound a little hoarse. We'll come back on tomorrow. Like as simple as this live is, it would seriously be simple to not do it. But we have goals and dreams and want to inspire others. We want to share. And so it's just sometimes easy to do the baby steps, and it's easy not to do them. We were at our Wednesday night church last night, and I was just thinking, our pastor was saying, hey, sometimes he's like, I was in a ladies group. She was saying, when you want to go up in life, when you have the merry-go-round going, right? How do you get people to join you on the merry-go-round? Or how do you oftentimes, whether it's in your environment or your work or your home, people, like Steve calls them crabs in the bucket. Like if you put a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket, they will try to climb out of the bucket. They'll climb on top of each other. And then right before a crab tries to get over, another crab pulls it down. And so I loved what she said. I have so many notes that I just want to come on. Maybe I'll do a live later this afternoon or even just a story. She had so many great analogies. But basically she said this: why don't you be open with people around you, your friends, family, coworkers, and invite them to join you? Not because oftentimes we say you are like your closest friends, right? And so sometimes people think we're snobby or, oh, they're better than me, or they're joining a gym, right? Because sad people, hurt people don't want other people to succeed. And it's so crazy how often in life people don't want you to succeed. Isn't it weird? Like, why would you not want to root somebody on? But it's a reality. There's a lot of people that are comfortable in their comfort. They're comfortable on their couch. They're comfortable not going to the gym. But as soon as you're going after better, It makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't like it. So they're going to tell you, you shouldn't do that. How dare you? And so I just want you to understand, we talk about being around different environments and different groups. You don't want to unfriend those people, but you need to be very clearly communicating with those people. Hey, I'm going somewhere. I'm going to the gym. I'm going up. I want to level up. I don't want to stop growing. So invite them or say, have a clear conversation. Like, will you join me? If you don't want to join me, that's fine, but I'm not staying here.
Whoa. I love that.
It was super great. It was a
give us
really
some hearts
great,
if you can relate.
Great message. Like, our pastor, Pastor Cherie, is incredible. All of the women are blessed by her, and she's so wise.
That was really, really good.
That was like 1% of our night.
All right. This is where it gets really fun because now you're walking, now you're running. Your habits are in step. You've got a vision. The couch potatoes are starting to scream a little bit around you.
You're pushing.
And next thing you know,
pushing.
You're running. And you're feeling good. Like you stepped on the scale and you saw an incredible number. You're drinking all of this water. You're feeling better. You checked out Stephanie's story yesterday. You were like, when I eat good food and I move my body, I just feel good.
You watched my story?
Feeling good. Honey, feeling good.
Like I should.
The reality is, like, you're just feeling really good, right? You've got that momentum going. And now all of a sudden what you get to do is you get to give this thing one final whoosh and you just push it off.
And that's where you meet Mo.
Oh, and then the momentum is happening. You're feeling good. And what's so nice about that is now you just get to go like this.
Well, he even says sometimes you can jump on. Like you would jump on when you would push all the neighborhood kids, all 40 of us. You would jump on and enjoy the ride. And when you felt like, I got to hop off real quick.
Yep.
To give another shove. Adapting to any change is the same way. You get started, you take one step, you take the next step, and the action and progression is slow. But once you form that habit and you kick it into the Big Mo and Big Mo joins you at the party, your success and results compound. Then you stand there and push it slowly, right? We've got 4 kids. Like every time we could find an old school playground, you can sure bet I would throw my kids on that merry-go-round because every child should experience one of these. They're so fun.
We should try to find one of those and put it in our
yard.
All right. Operation Find Big Mo.
All right. Ever wonder why successful people tend to get more successful? The rich get richer, the happy get happier, the lucky get luckier. He says, we've got Mo, and when it rains, it pours. But momentum works on the opposite end as well, right? So we talked earlier about like making steps and having compound effects of 1% better. Getting at the end of the year, and as you make these little steps, you're going to see big results at the end of the year. You can also see the opposite results at the end of the year. There's big momentum in making poor choices. At the beginning of the book, he gives you 3 examples, 3 characters, and Brad was the character. He had 3 different examples. One just stayed stagnant, one that made better choices over the course of the year, which reaped a great harvest, and one that made small choices by the end of the year who gained 40 pounds and just wasn't happy. So you've got to understand, like, everybody.
Which Brad will you be?
Are you going to be the couch potato? Are you going to be the 1% worse where you're spinning your wheels, right? Hard. Eventually you're going to get into this routine, but also having an awareness that you can spin the wheel towards the opposite direction at the end of the year, get so much further away from your goals. And you're not going to see it day by day. You don't see the candy bar add 5 pounds. We've talked about this. You don't see that cake add 50 pounds. You don't see the muscle deteriorating if you're not going to the gym and moving your body.
Or drinking your ketones.
Right. You don't see it day by day, but over months and a year, you will see it.
I mean, speaking of muscle deterioration, it's a big deal because that's what typically happens. Age 35, 40, people start losing their muscle mass.
Right.
And then you think about maybe some of your grandparents or your great-grandparents. If they fall, that's why it's a really big deal because something usually gets broken. It's so crazy because our good friend Rob, he got a DEXA scan when we were in Florida. He's been drinking ketones for almost 7 years, same time as us.
He's over 50.
We're not going to put any specific ages on it. But
I said over 50.
I know he's a great dude, great shape.
You would never guess that.
But he's actually put on muscle mass and lost body fat from drinking ketones.
He hasn't lost 1 ounce of muscle in 7 years. Well, usually I think it's age 35 and older they would say you would start losing some.
Like, go look at any data graph chart that you want to look at with people just losing muscle. So preserves muscle. Get your mom fuel.
All right.
momfueltrials.com.
How do you get Big Mo to pay you a visit?
How
You
do
build
you get
it up. You get into the groove of the zone by doing things like making new choices based on goals, putting those choices to work, taking action, repeating those healthy actions long term, building routines and rhythms, staying consistent over time. It's things that we talk about almost every single day in every single book.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. You said it not too long ago. All those things are important. Consistency is key, but you have to make sure you're doing the right things, because if you're consistently doing the wrong things, you're going to be like the Brad who put on the 40. You don't want that.
Don't do it.
So our hope is, and we can't even see the numbers while we're looking at this. Numbers can work for you, work against you. We're hoping it's just one. Like, we're hoping that this message will hit one person, one family, one community. And honestly, just one of these thoughts can shift something in your life to create a bigger and better life that you're living. Because we want you to be doing consistently the right things to get you to where you were created to go. Here's the cool thing. There's only one you, and you got one mission. And that's to fulfill why you're here.
We talked about that last night too. If you were to say back to us, okay, I hear you. What am I supposed to do to lose the weight? What am I supposed to do to help my relationship be better? What am I supposed to do to get out of debt? What am I supposed to do? And we would flip it back at you and we would go, if you knew what you were supposed to do, what would you do?
Cheers to that.
Listen.
Put that in the comments.
I think if you knew,
what would you do?
So like if you were to ask us one question and then we were to flip it back on you and go, okay, if you knew the answer, what would it be? You know the answer. Like, you know you should save your money by spending less, by maybe taking Amazon off of your phone, or not going to Target as often, or not going through all the drive-thrus. You know that if you need to work on relationships, you need to have some quality time and communication. You might have to see a therapist. Like, there's things you've got to do to fix it. If you want to lose the weight, you know that you've got to move your body. You've got to get the junk out of your house. You've got to make better choices. You've got to pack your lunch before you go to work. Like, you've got to prepare. You know what you need to do. Oftentimes we think we have to learn, and I need to learn more, and I need more books and more education. You really don't. Right?
So good.
Simplicity is key. Simplicity is key. Consistent action over time. And just having an expectation that's going to take a little while. But at the end of the year, where will you be? Will you be the plane that's on course? Will you be the plane that's a little bit better, 1% better, which is great, right? Or will you be the 1% worse, where you're completely off course and have to have extra momentum to even restart next year?
Yep. The only thing I can go back to is when you said you don't have to learn every day type aspect.
Right.
I think you don't need like a master class every day. I think to take one thought, to take one idea and activate one thing every day is critical.
I think so. Like, part of reading every day and working on your mindset is to get you into a positive mindset. Mm-hmm. They are good reminders. They are good, like, you might learn something completely different to put into action, but in general, you know the basic steps to do. I'm not saying not read. I read every single day. What I mean by that is, like, oftentimes people can get up and you can easily, like, I could have easily got up and been really crabby today because my throat wasn't feeling well. I was rubbing stuff all over me. Like, you've got to have perspective. It's great to read, sit down, be mindful, and then attack your day with a positive attitude.
Bam! There it is. So that's what we got for you.
That's what we've got.
Hopefully you found some value in this. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for sharing this. Thanks for tagging. It's been cool to see KetoMom community growing. That's because of amazing people like you sharing it and tagging your friends and inviting people to hop on.
Yeah.
Hopefully you found some value. Hopefully you got an idea, something that you can take action on. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to know more about how to get plugged in, go to Stephanie's awesome blog. It's ketomomsecrets.com. There's just a lot of great information there.
We're on Facebook, KetoMom, Instagram, TikTok, KetoMom Secrets, or just go to ketomomsecrets.com. There's so many things between recipes, or just send me a message. I answer the messages best on Instagram and Facebook.
That's true. And if you're on TikTok or Instagram, and if you want to message her, you can also get onto her text messaging too.
Oh, yes.
She sends out these cool inspirational thoughts every day.
I need to send one out today.
So those are all the options. Thanks for sharing.
We appreciate you. Have an incredible day. Send us questions. We're here to help. Bye, everybody. Bye, TikTok world. Again, here I'll tell you this.